Greetings, everyone, boys and girls. This is James here speaking, and today we have something as strange as things as dark about thought of a real personal as unspecialized as unidentified personal. It's a biography just about from the independent gaming developers as community for all around the world. All right. I'm just looking for the Throwback Sunday, and it has been one of the undisclosures from unidentified the British the games developer personal. So I just the huge things. One thing I don't look back from June 2018, and it said was it still was have the creators names. Robert Borrocks, or Wertpol. Wertpol says on June 2018, and the thought about this have a disclosure says of what was this have that he was a thought that he's emotional just well less and had health anxiety issues, and as he was a chilling guy just of running the personal. So there you go. And I just want us to be that huge things that happen that the tragedy young British developer man is Robert Broderick. It's on June 2018, and he also suffered from depressing and anxiety and depressing, so they have the issue from mental health issue as I wonders for what happened to him, just because that happens on June's 2018 months. I mean 2018 June's 2018 moment, but Robert Broderick, he's now turned self-inflicted himself. That undisclosed, but I never heard of this. I never hear it as everybody says never hear it. So perhaps as a Robert got to turn to self-inflicted himself because as he has a failed from the Kickstarter as of funding is secure for failure from funding of a Kickstarter. That just because he would stop working for the remakes games, that as Robert he's chilling guy and as was amazing for Presentable library and Exoptable money, that but the sad thing is true, is really dark. It's dark, he's turned self-inflicted himself, and now presumably that they're gone. Anything except for Robert having any family members and disclosure sister, and no less aware of it is what was that happened to Robert, and carry on to Robert Barclays' legacy past as a hundred as a honestly with the British the people for I was thought the prayers within him. That's the guy for Presentable Liberty Games creators, and is currently unknown for biography and could not have revealed any information that is sad things here. So a situation that's a suicidal thought for situation outdoors as outcome from the British the people, and is heavily have the mental health for issues, and is a worry that has I feel that it's sadder for him that Robert Broderick doesn't have much more of a big money per project from Kickstarter, and was worse of her that's unsuccessful the Kickstarter campaign that were he doesn't have much more money, and he didn't pass the year, but he is having now the sentence for depressed, and also for self-inflicted hanging or gunshot wound. I think it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound himself, but I don't know. I don't know that for suicidal, so for information this person. So the first time I watched that Jacksepticeye had playing the Presentable Liberty about a few years ago. That it's kind of weird. It's dark things to do, and I never heard about it. Someone has been say, someone can't believe it hears does a positive comments, and so forget about him. And that's his developer is gone out, but he was turned self-inflicted himself. To all those things to all of the acknowledges with an independent gaming developers community, with an independent games developer. I don't know this as much more of a dark web, and as he was turned to self-inflicted, that have it turned himself, or what? That's not even that from Live for the Legacy. Presentable Liberty and Exoptable money. The game has to still exist. Likely the Robert's original work did this purposely, and remakes. This doesn't work anymore because he doesn't have much more money, and it's unsuccessful to Kickstarter. So I really I had my personal. I'm not being depressing, but at the same time, and I'm a games developer. So based in Southeast Asia, the same thing like this. And the people will find pleasure, and there's one thing developers are unseen developer guy dying from a depressing and a suicidal thought. And the Presentable Liberty is a given has a blowing your mind and loses their mind. Drew out there have serious games and kind of weird making game stuff, and all those things really stuff, and but nothing else. That I feel so sad, and just so bad for him, that as a completely the closer, and his conclusions to be live for passing in the district far from the future. Presentable Liberty is like social destinations. Instead, coronavirus or stay at home simulator, and I just remember played the Presentable Liberty and Exoptable money, kind of weird and sad scenes, really dark rumor, but it's all enjoyable. I was enjoyed with them, and community has that tragedy just happened, but the British guy Robert is not here for us, and now he sends his passing his way, and he wants to be rest as well for the future. So then, if you have a gaming career and the gamer, the viewer, if you enjoy further watching this about the Throwback Sunday, as what will happen to Presentable Liberty, the game's creator that turns self-inflicted from the depressing, and honestly, hopefully they do it. So that's all pretty much I have to say. So I'll talk to you guys for later, and I'll see you around for the next video for be sure ready for the real action, and as the newest update, a new video to come. Alright, so I'll just quit the video. So that's all pretty much I have to say. So I'll talk you guys for later, and as always, later.